These are 10 things that coaches absolutely hate. It will make their blood boil. And I've seen these things take players from being like maybe a starter or maybe, close to being a starter to get no playing time, or being in the middle of playing, a whole bunch of minutes and boom, instantly getting pulled from the game. And sometimes that can ruin a player's entire season, and then that leads to possibly ruining your entire career. So make sure you're not doing these 10 things. I'm gonna go over exactly what they are and how to fix it. It's pretty simple stuff just to not do it, but you have to be paying attention to it. And a lot of players don't really even know these are things that bother their coach, so you'll definitely want to pay attention to all of them. Coach Jesse Muench here with Get Handles Basketball, where we train harder and smarter so you can play like the pros. If that's something you're looking to do, make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you can catch the newest videos. And if there's any part of your game you're looking to improve, make sure you check out my channel. I got hundreds of videos on pretty much anything you could think of, but if for some reason I don't have a video on what you're looking for, leave me a comment, let me know. I'll try to get you one ASAP. First thing, and you might think this is kind of weird for me to say, because this is Get Handles Basketball, over dribbling. Big problem that a lot of coaches don't like. It drives them wild. Now, I'm not saying like bringing the basketball up, that's not over dribbling. Setting up the offense, that's not over dribbling. What I'm talking about is like when you're just sitting here doing a whole bunch of moves and just pulling a bunch of stuff off all in one spot with really no movement, no intention to get anywhere, that's gonna be a problem. Typically, I would say if you're like actually trying to create something and it's taking you more than 5-6 dribbles, that's probably a problem with your coach. They're probably not gonna like that. Even if you are getting some movement into the mix and you're kind of coming side to side and things, if you're still taking too many dribbles, your coach is just going to get annoyed because it looks like you're not really trying to create for your entire team. You're being selfish, you're messing up the flow of the offense, all that stuff. Your coach spends a lot of time probably working on your offense, setting that up, trying to get the whole team involved, right? And if you're over dribbling, that's going to be a problem. Number two, it's also going to be a problem for you because now the whole defense is going to collapse and now it's harder for you to try to drive, which is what you're probably trying to set up if you're doing a lot of dribbling. And on top of that, your teammates are going to go stagnant. They're going to be like, okay, well, he's just trying to drive. And now it messes up the entire flow and function of the offense. So that's why your coach is probably going to have a problem if you're over dribbling. Make sure you're not doing it. If that first tip helped you, click that like button and leave me a comment, say this helps. Second big tip, and this is one I see a lot with players. I've had this at like my camps even, and I'm not even like giving players playing time. I'm just trying to get them better. But if you're doing this with your coach where he's actually giving you playing time, big problem. You're not going to get playing time. And it is not listening and applying. So kind of two things, but they go hand in hand. If your coach is talking, number one, eyes got to be focused on him. It drives your coach nuts. If he's talking and you're just kind of like looking over here, or you're, just looking off into space, or you're talking to another teammate, that will make their blood boil. You are going to not get very much playing time if you're doing that consistently, sometimes even once. Some coaches really want that level of respect where every second you are paying attention to what they're talking about. So make sure you're paying attention to what they're saying and listening. Like not just like looking at them, but listening to what they're saying so you can soak it in and understand. Your coach is trying to help you. But if you're not giving them the respect to say, okay, I'm going to listen, then your coach is going to get a little bit or a lot annoyed. Second part of this though is you have to apply, right? You can't just, and that's part why you have to not just look, but also listen, because you can't apply if you're not listening, right? Drives me nuts when I have camps and things like that. If I'm telling a player, do this, it'll help your crossover get better instantly. Just make sure you're doing this. That's it. I'll give them like 1 point. And if they don't do it, I'm like, you seriously must not want to get better. And I'm, again, not a coach that's trying to get players playing time. I just want them to get better so they can get playing time. If it's your coach and you're not doing that, your coach won't maybe say anything. If you're not applying, you'll be like, okay, well, apparently he doesn't want to play, so they just won't play you. Third thing coaches hate, and this is something that they might, again, this is especially one they won't say anything. Like if you're not listening, they might get on you about it. But if you're not doing this, some coaches will get on you for it and some won't maybe say anything, and they'll just say, okay, this guy doesn't want to play very much, or this guy's not very good. And it's if you're not bringing intensity. And with this, I'm not just talking with like the typical stuff like, hustle for loose basketballs, get after those rebounds. Absolutely do that. You got to bring the intensity on that side of things. But you also need to make sure you're bringing the intensity on the little things with offense, like setting picks. When you go to the basket, bring full intensity, because not only is that going to show that you really are trying hard and that you're trying to bring all your effort, but you're going to be more successful, because when you bring intensity, everything's gonna be quicker. You're gonna get rid of those little hesitations that throw your rhythm off or that give your defender time to jump in front of you. So bring that intensity on offense, defense, loose ball situations, all that. And even like the little things in between, you know, where your coach is running drills and he wants you to get to the line quick. I'm gonna link you to a video at the end, another video on how to be a guaranteed starter on YouTube. That's gonna really help you with this though. There's a secret number 3 and that really goes in depth into this side of things. Fourth thing coaches hate is when you're not focusing. I'm talking not so much on just like focusing on what your coach is saying and applying. It's just focusing on what's happening in game situations or what you're supposed to be doing and always being cued in when you're like in the middle of action. Maybe there's an opportunity for you to shoot. Are you focusing on that? Are you focusing on all the little opportunities and executing on them, bringing the intensity with them? You can't be kind of on the court and just kind of aloof and not really aware of what's going on. And you have to bring the intensity not just with what you're physically doing, but first of all, mentally focusing, right? If you don't have that mental focus to say, okay, this is an opportunity, this is the open teammate, this is what I'm supposed to be doing every step of the way. Coach might say like, man, this kid just is out there and he's not paying attention to what's going on. Paying attention to what's happening in the middle of a drill that you're supposed to be doing, paying attention to what you're doing when you're on the court, to the different opportunities, to getting, you know, maybe helping on help defense, getting to your guy on defense. If all of a sudden in a fast break situation and everyone's running down and you can't find your guy, you're guarding the wrong guy, or you don't even know where your guy is, those things are big problems that are going to drive your coach nuts. Fifth thing, and this is going to hurt some of your guys' feelings, but playing outside of your roles/strengths. Now, I know a lot of you guys, there's a lot of people I get comments from like, Coach, I want to be the point guard. I'm a small forward right now, or I'm a power forward and I want to be the point guard. That's great. That's fine and dandy. No problem with me on that. But you've got to keep in mind what your strengths are. If you're not a very good shooter and you want to be a shooting guard, that's going to be a problem, right? You've got to get that shot down if you want to get your coach's respect. But if you're not a good shooter and you're chucking up a lot of three-pointers, your coach is going to go nuts because you're not giving your teammates an opportunity to make a better shot. You're not giving your team a better chance to score. And it just shows that you have a disregard for what your coach is telling you to do. Odds are your coach is probably telling you, hey, coach, that's not a good shot for you. You got to get that three-point shot down first. They might not tell you that, but I'm right now telling you that. So you have to be aware of what your strengths are. You also have to know, kind of some of the things as far as like if you're tall, if you're short, right? What are your strengths going to be? If you're short, you want to play quicker and lower to the ground, do more dribbling type stuff, right? Use your speed to your advantage. If you're taller, you probably want to be in the paint a little bit more, unless maybe you have that guard skill set. But typically, your coach is going to look at you as being more of a post player and wants you more in the post. Now, unless you have a great three-point shot, you should probably stick to that. And in your off time, in your practice, you can go ahead and develop that side of your game. But if you don't have it down, you can't just go out doing all the shooting or trying to do a bunch of dribbling and ball handling stuff if you're not very good with your handle. You've got to get that side of things down. Again, at the end of the video, that video on how to be a guaranteed starter, I'll go more in depth in that video as far as like the things you'll want to keep in mind for the skills you'll want to have for your position and kind of give you an idea of what position your coach is probably going to want you playing. I'm open! That'll drive your coach nuts if you're the player with the basketball and you're not hitting a wide open teammate, especially if they have a good shot, like if it's a good three-point shooter and they're on the three-point line, or someone cutting for an easy layup, or someone in the post all by themselves with no one around them. They're going to get so mad if there's someone open and you're double teamed, or just for whatever reason no one's on that person. You have got to get them the ball. So this isn't just with like what we talked about, like with over dribbling. You could be holding the basketball and this could happen, right? But you've got to be aware of what's going on the court and who's open. Quick tip I've got for you that'll help you with this is use your peripheral vision. So anytime, if I'm looking here, I can still see the camera, you over here, out of the sides of my vision. So I would typically try to keep your eyes on the rim and use your peripheral vision. That way you can see the entire court. Or if you're going to look this way, use your peripheral vision to see as much as you can. I can't quite see back over here though, but if I get my eyes on the rim, now I can see that hand out of the corner of my eye. But leave me a comment and let me know if you've ever played with someone that does this a lot. Number 7, sloppy Joe, sloppy screens. Don't set sloppy picks, screens, whatever you want to call them. If you're going to set a pick, get up to the person you're supposed to be picking so you can get nice and tight to them. Also, not just that, but the other side of it, if you're coming off a screen, rub shoulder to shoulder with your teammate. The reason this drives coaches nuts is because so few players do it well. And the reason they want you to do it well is because everything hums better on offense. Everything will go a lot crisper, cleaner. You'll get open a lot more often, and everyone's gonna get open a lot more often if you're setting good screens and using the screens well. That's why it drives your coach nuts, because he knows how many more opportunities it can create for you to score, for teammates to score. Number 8, learn the offense. If you're out on the court and you don't know what's going on in the play, that's a problem for your coach, because at the end of the day, they want things to run well on offense so you guys can score more, right? So things run smoothly. It just takes one person not knowing what's going on to mess everything up. It's going to bring down morale. It's going to take away scoring opportunities. It's going to drive up turnovers, which drive coaches nuts also. And it's all because one person, maybe a couple people, and if it's a lot of people don't know what's going on, that's causing a big problem, right? A lot of times though, it's usually just going to be 1 or 2 people that are messing everything up. It takes one person to miss a pick, and now everything kind of falls apart, because now this person that was supposed to get the pick set for them, they don't know what they're supposed to do because that didn't happen for them, and everything falls apart and it becomes a mess. This could be as simple as you going to YouTube and looking for tutorials on the offense, asking your coach maybe for some diagrams explaining the offense or resources where you can learn the offense. But you've got to be studying the offense and knowing what's going on if you don't want to make your coach mad. 9th one, and this is one that kind of quiet, sneaky makes your coach mad. They might not ever say anything to you about it, but it drives them nuts. And it's if you come back the next season and you're not better. If you're like out of shape, if your skills haven't improved, if you look sloppy and not ready for the season, that's gonna definitely be something that your coach notices. They're gonna see that, and it's gonna make them mad, because they're like, man, this kid's got potential. This kid doesn't want to get better. And they want people on their team that want the team to get better, that individually want to get better. It's a pretty simple thing. Put in your grind, put in your time. If you've been watching my videos for a while and working on them, this probably isn't a problem for you. But if you're not doing it consistently, like putting in at least 5 days a week of working out, this might be a problem for you. So make sure you're getting that in. 10th and final thing, and this is something again that might be kind of like a secret thing that makes your coach mad, or they might actually say something to you, and if they say something to you, you better make sure you do something to change it. And it's coming to open gyms. If your coach is having open gyms and says, hey guys, come on out, every Sunday we got the gym open, you guys can get a run in, and maybe you just look at that as a suggestion, and yeah, it kind of is from your coach, but if you're not coming, that's telling your coach something, and it's kind of making them a little mad. Maybe they don't even realize it, but I can guarantee you it's kind of bothering them. Because if they're going to take the time to open the gym, they want to make sure people are coming in, number 1. But number 2, if you're not coming in, it's making them mad because it shows that you don't have a desire to get better, that you're not taking advantage of this opportunity that you're being given. Show up as much as you can. Be the first one there, the last one to leave. That's going to give you a good impression on your coach, versus if you just don't show up, or you show up for like half an hour and leave. Your coach is going to be like, okay, this player doesn't really want to get better, or basketball is not really a priority for them. So keep that in mind. It seems like a little thing, but it's actually a big thing, and it'll make a big impact on how much playing time you get. Speaking of which, that video that I told you I was going to link you to on how to be a guaranteed starter, you can click it right here. Check it out. It's going to help you a ton. 5 big keys to make sure you can get that starting spot for your team. And if you know anyone this video would help, make sure you share this video with them. Click that like button, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you can get your news videos, and I'll see you in this video.